Hi there, just with Shawn from Revive, and he helped form Revive. I'm just going to ask him to share a little bit about how Revive started, what it means, what the aims are, what they're trying to do.
Hi, everybody, and thank you for sending him to come spend some time with us. And we love having Isaac with us. Revive began about 6 or 7 years ago. The idea was born. Me and my wife, for the last almost 15 years, have been able to work with the Eastern European countries. There's 16 countries in this part of the world, about 270 million people. But outside of the Ukraine, almost every nation has, at the most, a very small church just in the capital. And out of the 16 nations, we actually have 6 countries right now with no fellowship whatsoever. And another 6 countries basically with no full-time minister and maybe just a handful of disciples. And then 4 or 5 churches with a minister, but they've been relatively stuck for almost 30 years. And in most of these churches, when you visit them, there's nobody under the age of 35 in the church. So with this being the geographical layout, Lena and my wife and myself, we decided to raise up a new lead evangelist and eldership for the Kiev church, which is about 2,000 members, and move out of the Ukraine, where we have about 8 churches, and for the most part that country is doing well as far as having momentum of planting churches and evangelizing, and spend the next few years of our lives outside of the Ukraine, spending time in the different countries in Eastern Europe. We also tried for many years just visiting on the weekends or coming over the summer and spending a month and sending some help, but that was never enough to turn the culture or change the community or the faith level of those nations. So we decided we should just go for like a year. And then not go alone, because it's very difficult to demonstrate community by yourself. One of the brothers in the States suggested, why don't you take a group of young people with you? I, of course, had my doubts that young people would want to come and spend a year with us in Eastern Europe. But we tried it and it worked out. So our first Revive, I think we had about 20 people sign up, and me and my wife were going to move to Hungary with 20 people and spend a year there to see if we could really change the genetic code of the church and kind of give it a revival. COVID happened, we weren't able to launch. We ended up in Odessa, then the next year we were supposed to go to Zagreb, we ended up in Moldova. These are all long stories, but for the most part now, we've been to Romania and now we're in Bulgaria. We've moved here with almost 16 people. We spend 10 months here. We pour our lives into the church, we pour our lives into the community, we share our faith. And it's been super encouraging to see how God's been working. In Moldova, the church was about 38 members with just maybe 1 or 2 people under the age of 35. Now it's like 70 members and half the church is under the age of 35. Bucharest church as well in the 30s. Now there's 60, 70 brothers and sisters there. And we moved here to Bulgaria 8 months ago or 9 months ago, and there were 13 members in the church. Today's worship service most likely had around 30 or 40 people. So God brings revival, and He brings open hearts, and we just love one another, love God, and through that we inspire prayerfully more and more people to study the Bible and become Christians.
Thanks, Shawn. Can you tell people how members of Revive support themselves financially while they're on the mission team here?
So each member does a fundraiser before we launch Revive and tries to raise the money so that they can sustain themselves for the 10 months that they're on Revive. Basically, cost of living in this part of the world, if you include rent, food, transportation, visas, documents, all these different things, it's around $1,100 a month. So for 10 months, it's $11,000. Then depending on where you're coming from, there's different travel expenses to get home over Christmas and get back at the end of Revive. So the fundraisers are around $13,000 to $14,000 per person. People reach out to their friends, brothers and sisters. I know many people would love to go on a missionary journey, but not everyone's in a life stage that they can. And our prayer is that maybe you can't physically go, but you could help send somebody through your generous donation and be a part of the team, maybe remotely, but support financially. So if God puts it on your heart and you're able to support Isaac or one of the other teammates, we would be eternally grateful. And I'm super proud of these teammates. I look around the room, there's people here who had careers, programmer, Defense Department, people who stepped out of school for a year. just to come and give their lives to help a church get back up on its feet so that that country would have hope for salvation. So super thankful for their sacrifice, but they can't get here without your support and people like you helping them to make it here.